boys and girls, I'm Mrs. Rearley. I'm the media specialist here at Richmond Hill Elementary School. You're now here at orientation. We're going to learn a lot about the Media Center, and then we're going to do a fun activity and get some practice. So boys and girls, when you come to the Media Center, one of the first things you'll do is return the books you've just finished. Now, this book, one of my favorites, Madeline, like every other book in the Media Center, has a barcode sticker on it. This is what you'll scan when you return your books. So boys and girls, when it's time to return our books, remember we're looking for the sticker on the back of the book that has the name of the school on it. Don't be confused, because sometimes you might want to scan the barcode that's printed on the book because it has lines on it too, but that's not the one. Remember, we want the one that has the name of the school. That's the one we're looking for. So once you find the right sticker, the next step is coming over to the check-in iPad. Now, sometimes this iPad goes to sleep. So if you come up to the iPad and it's a black screen, you just have to touch the little round button 2 times, and that wakes up the iPad. So right now, it's all set. It's ready to go. So how you scan your books, it's not hard. All you have to do is make sure you see that sticker. You're gonna take it, whoops, my iPad almost went to sleep. So you're going to press the scan button first. And when you do that, the iPad screen turns into basically a camera. It looks like a camera screen. You can see whatever's behind the iPad. But there's one little rectangle there. That's where we need our barcode sticker to show up. So I'm going to take my book and I'm going to place it behind the iPad so the iPad camera can see my book. And I've got to get my sticker in the box. So I'm going to line it up and hold it still. Once the iPad sees the sticker on the book, it checks my book in. And I know it did, because on the screen of the iPad, it even has the title of my book now. It says Madeline, and it has the number that's on my book on the screen. So that is how I check in. Okay, boys and girls, once I've scanned my book in at the iPad, the next step to returning my book is to come to the cart here at the end of the desk. Now, sometimes it gets busy in the Media Center, so we always want to try to be neat with how we put our books on the cart. We don't want to just stack them up and have them fall over. We want to be respectful. So I take my book and I put it in the open space. I know you can do that too. So after you've come in, you have scanned your book in at the iPad, you have put your book on the book cart at the end of the desk. The next step is stop by and get a shelf marker. Shelf markers help us keep the shelves in order so we can find the books you want to read. Let's see how we can find a book. This is one of the most popular areas of the Media Center. This is where you're going to find your favorite books like Captain Underpants, Dog Man, Lego, Minecraft, a lot of other graphic novels. They're all right here. So a lot of you will want to come check this area out. So I have my shelf marker and I see a book that I think I might want to read. Before I take that book off the shelf, I'm going to put my shelf marker beside it on the shelf. So I like graphic novels, and my friends have been talking about Ghost, that it's a really fun graphic novel. Before I pick this book off to read it, I'm going to look at a couple things to decide if I really want to read it. One of the great things I can do is I can read the first page and make sure that I know most of the words on that page. If there's a word I don't know on the page, I'm going to put one finger up. Every time I come across a word on the page that gives me trouble, I'm going to put another finger up. If I get 5 fingers up on the first page of the book, that's a good rule of thumb that maybe that book's going to be a little challenging and I might not enjoy reading it as much. So remember, the 5-finger rule will help you make good choices. If I decide I want to get another graphic novel, before I take the book off the shelf, I'm going to put my shelf marker in again. Let's see. So I'm putting the marker in next to the book I want to look at. So I'm going to read the cover. Remember, I'm going to read that first page and see if I have more than 5 words. If I have 5 words that give me trouble, I might want to make a different choice. Oh, there's 1. 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I have 5 words that are difficult, I may want to pick a different book. But I don't have to worry about putting it in the wrong place. All I have to do is look for my shelf marker. There it is. Now I can take that book and put it back exactly where it goes, right where the shelf marker is. Once I put it back, I can take my shelf marker out. So now I don't have to worry about putting it in the wrong place. Now, if you like to read books that teach you about different topics, maybe you like animals, maybe you like science, maybe you want to learn more about a president from the United States or a different country, maybe you love poetry and you want to read a book about a poem, or maybe you like jokes and you want to read a funny joke book. All of those books are nonfiction books. Oh, I almost forgot. Maybe you want to read a fairy tale or a fable. They are also in the nonfiction section. All of our nonfiction books are against the window. So if you're looking for a certain topic, you can always ask for help, but you can also come over and look because there are a lot of signs on top of the shelves to give you clues about where you'll find these types of books. So today, I love animals. I want to read a book about dogs. And I'm in the section with the animal books. There is a sign a little further down that says animals, and it's a big section. So if I'm having trouble finding books about dogs, I can always ask Miss Rurley for help. So I'm in the right place. Look, there's even a label on the shelf. It says dogs and puppies. So I'm in the right place. All of the signs are here to help me. Let's see if I can find the perfect book. Oh, remember to use your shelf marker. Bulldogs. Now, when I'm looking at the book, I'm always going to read that first page and use my 5-finger rule, but there's also a sticker on the book that can help me to see how challenging this book is going to be. So this book tells me on the front sticker the reading level is 3.0. That means this book is 3rd grade reading level. So that might help me. Also, some of the books have stickers and they use the word Lexile. Your teacher can help you find out what your Lexile is. That's another way that I can look at books quickly and find out if they're just right or a little challenging or maybe not as hard as they could be. So I'm going to take a look and see if I want to read this book. Okay, I know all of the words on the first page, and I have a lot of interest in bulldogs. And this is definitely in my reading level. This is a winner. I'm going to get this book. Sometimes I might have a little bit of time to sit and read a book. Now that's going to be up to my teacher. When I come to the Media Center with my class, I might be here for a lesson, and I might be listening to my teacher and Mrs. Rarely, or I might be here for story time, or I might just be coming with my books to return them and get new books. But you always have to do what your teacher has sent you to do. If you have time to sit down and read here, that's awesome, but it has to be something your teacher has said you're allowed to do. Now, as I'm looking at my book, remember I told you about that sticker on the front that tells me the reading level? Well, that sticker also says accelerated reader. So that means that if I read this book and I really enjoy answering questions about what I've read, I can take a quiz on this book. And it says Accelerated Reader quiz number. When I log in to Accelerated Reader, I can use that quiz number to find the right quiz on my book. That's a good way to find the quiz, the right one, and save time. When you come into the Media Center, if you want to read a book that is fiction, that means it's fantasy, it's made up, it's not really a true story, then you're going to want to come to the section of shelves that are across from the checkout computers. Now, our books are in order by genre, so that means they're in order and grouped together by what they're about. So, to find out what types of books are on the shelves, you can look at the end of the shelves. So, down this side of the case, you'll find books that are stories about sports, humor, which means funny stories that'll make you laugh, scary stories, and mysteries, where you might want to read the clues to try to figure out what's going to happen next. They're all running down this side of the shelf. Now on this side of the shelf, you may really like books of fantasy, books about unicorns, fairies, magic. They're in the fantasy section. We also have books that are science fiction. Have you ever wanted to read a storybook about aliens or an invention that can take you to a different place in time? That would be a science fiction book. Or what if you really like the I Survived books and you like adventure stories? They are all running down this side of the shelf. Now this has got to be one of my favorite places to look for a book, the storybook collection. The storybook collection is full of all kinds of stories, and they are in order by the last name of the person that wrote them. So if you know the author's name and it's a storybook, we can go look for it and just use the alphabet to find that book. So if you like books like Don't Let the Pigeon Drive the Bus, or if you like books like Ada Twist, Scientist, this is an example of a picture book or a storybook. Most of our storybooks have a lot of pictures in them, and they're not as long as chapter books. They don't have chapters, they have one continuous story. So you'll find all of those books in the storybook collection. And remember, they are in order by the last name of the person that wrote them.